As we watched racial justice and police reform protests from Minneapolis
My family built that community.
to here in the Miami Valley, the scenes often mirror separate protester and police sides.
When I put this uniform on, when I take it off, at the end of the day, I'm an African-American male.
For African-American officers, like Montgomery County Chief Deputy Sheriff Darrell Wilson, those scenes are personally complex.
When I put this uniform on, I'm law enforcement, but this uniform doesn't make me. I make this uniform.
Me as a black man, I don't want to be labeled, and me as a police officer, I don't want to be labeled.
A complexity Dayton Assistant Police Chief Eric Henderson and 20-year veteran Dayton officer Letha Savage deeply understand based on their lived experiences.
Growing up in a black home, black brothers, black sisters, cousins, aunts, I even asked, I'm like, has anybody ever thought of being a police officer? And it was like, why? No.
It can be difficult. Sometimes community members may see you as being on an opposing side, but at the same time, for the most part, what citizens are asking for, the black community is asking for, I'm trying to do.
Henderson is a Dayton native. Wilson grew up in Los Angeles, Savage in Florida. Wilson and Savage say single mothers raising them is key in their life perspectives. So are mostly positive early community policing impressions.
I would do things that I was supposed to be doing, so law enforcement back in those days would take me home and I would get it from my mom. And I wish that never did take place after she got a hold of me. But
A DARE officer came to the school, and I actually rode in the cruiser with the DARE officer, going around schools talking about why kids shouldn't use drugs.
We had a police department, like on Sundays, there was nothing for police officers to come have Sunday dinner at your house.
Just one of 3 black female DPD officers, Savage was on the front lines during recent protests.
One young man kept saying, you look like my mom, you could be my mom. And I was like, what does that mean? I said, what does that mean? And then he said, I should never put this uniform on again. And I said, if I didn't put this uniform on again, your mom wouldn't be on the department.
There's a renewed push for more women and minorities in uniform as citizens demand law enforcement better reflect the communities they serve. And there's a long way to go. Dayton's police department has 370 officers. 26 of them are black. That's 7% in a city whose population is 43% black. The sheriff's office has 203 sworn officers, 11 of whom are black. That's only about 5%. Montgomery County's population is 21% black.
And we're looking for new ideas, and we're looking for people who's energized.
To beef up those numbers, both departments launched recruiting campaigns aimed at minorities. They feature billboard ads and slickly produced videos showcasing officers' different duties. But these veteran officers believe the first hurdle is overcoming the mistrust among people of color toward police.
Well, I get called names from my people, other people of color, because I am a law enforcement.
Wilson gets it. He recalls traveling out of state, out of uniform, and a white officer approaching him, using what he perceived to be a racial slur.
Okay, maybe he calls everybody boy, but that's not cool. But okay, I get it. Or maybe because I was a black, he's calling me boy. And you see even law enforcement say, well, what can we do to help you with this movement? Because you know what? Good cops hate bad cops.
Negative police interactions are also a part of Henderson's family conversations. He feels it's important for all sides to listen.
A lot of times as an officer, you forget the power and the potential impact you have over someone's life when you're interacting with them and how that person may feel.
My life is no different than anybody else's life.
Just like the officers she grew up with, Savage advocates for more Black and Hispanic community outreach, and she's partnering with Dayton Public Schools to connect with students.
And we're going to give them the opportunity to interact with police on a regular basis, to see us as the human beings that we are. If you want change within the police department, be a police officer.
I think in order to make change, you have to have a seat at the table. I'm sitting at the table, and I really would like to challenge more people to have a seat at the table.
People still, they tell us, hey, we pray for you, thank you. That right there is rewarding. That right there keeps me going. That right there is what makes me do this job.